Hey guys, this is Mike, the Wrestling God Smith, and you're watching All in Wrestling. This video is actually my thoughts on Chris Jericho. Guys, I've heard about the Please Retire Train too with the Hook match. I did see it. The match between the heck is his name? Tommy Billington. Because here's the thing, Chris Jericho is a good wrestler. I don't think he needs to retire just yet because it's like he could have retired in WWE and had a Hall of Fame moment, but I think the real reason he doesn't want to do it because he can't stop. He can't stop. I think in my mind, it's like, bro, it's like he's reinvented himself like a bunch of times. Like, even when he first came to the wrestling world, like, I knew who he was in WCW because I seen it like many years ago that he was Chris Jericho, and I never really thought that much of him like in WCW because like around that time WCW was kind of going down the toilet, and like he had Ralphus and he did a feud with Goldberg. He did a feud with Goldberg. He did a feud with Dean Malenko, but nobody really knows like that much about Chris Jericho, and it's like even WWE like when he came like the tail end of like I would say like the middle tail end of like 1999, like he was there, like he kind of just did his own thing there because like I think when he came to the WWE, he had a lot more freedom to just kind of be Chris Jericho, the Millennium Savior. Like that's was his whole gimmick, and nobody really knows that was his whole gimmick. And I think like I would say give it like I would say two like 99, 2000, 2001. He kind of fizzled a bit because like we already knew how great the dude was, and I think when he kind of became the first undisputed, like he was Chris Jericho, the first undisputed champion, and it kind of made him like it kind of made him like fizzle out. Like my best memories of Chris Jericho has always been like he goes against Triple H, he ends up winning the undisputed title, he ended up losing to Triple H at WrestleMania, that thing, and then he reinvents himself in 2002, and then he has a crazy feud with Steve Austin, and then he still kind of stayed like he stays for a while because like he has the best feud with Shawn Michaels, but I think that kind of fizzles out, and then I think he has a fantastic feud with John Cena like I would say mid 2004 or 5. He goes to like he ends up being Raw. He ends up doing the highlight reel. He ends up having a really good feud with Edge because he's the Intercontinental Champion at the time. And then I think he ends up having a feud with Christian. I would say, yeah, because he ends up having a feud with Christian at the next WrestleMania, I think 2006, 2007, and they do the feud again with Trish, and that storyline because I can't believe I don't know why anybody doesn't remember that, but despite the point, he kind of just like he stayed, and I think he just got like I want to say 2009, 2008, 2009. He comes like he got fired. He cut his hair. He kind of reinvented himself, and that was like when he had the joke like the suits, and he was actually like doing a lot of stuff with Big Show when they became Jericho, which I really think the real reason why he just like now he's not gonna retire because he's done so much in the wrestling world, and I feel like because of WWE and the exposure in WWE kind of made him want to go because like he wasn't really doing much. Like the Kevin Owens stuff, yeah, but I feel like even with the Kevin Owens stuff, like even with like the you know the Wade Barrett stuff with Nexus and like making them grow, like I still feel like he could have been that guy, but I feel like he wasn't that guy. Even with the Punk stuff, like he's always been he he's always been that guy. He's always been Chris Jericho. We know who the guy is, and that's the thing. I feel like when he left and he went to New Japan and he showed up on the inception of AEW, he became a thing. Like, he's a living, like, Chris Jericho in any wrestling promotion kind of works because he has all this background, all this ability, all this storyline, all this talent. And even when he created his own faction, like two different factions at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I kind of can see what they're doing with that. Like, even with the Jericho appreciate, like even with the inner circle when he brought Sammy in and he taught like made Sammy a bigger star because like Sammy was already over. Sammy was already over with his stuff, like even with the Cody stuff, and it's like he was already over. He was already over with that. He was already kind of over, and it's like, yo, you had Santana, you had Proud and Powerful, like you had LAX. The thing is, I didn't use him. And like even with them like quitting, like he wasn't like Santana wasn't gonna just stay because I think it just fizzled out. Same thing with Jake Hager. He brought a guy like him, and I'm like they had a friendship, and I'm like yo, he's been that guy. But it's like even with the Jericho Appreciation Society, the JS, I'm like bro, you still elevated people. Like he took Daniel Garcia to a guy who who was probably a really good submission specialist into a guy that believes like he's an underdog. Like he's kind of like the spiritual successor to him and Daniel Bryan, if you want to put it to that, because it's like I feel like if Daniel Garcia does come back and he does do something with if they do something with the TBS title where he actually gets a chance to win, it kind of makes sense because I never got to see that from Daniel Garcia till later, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe everybody, and that's the thing, everybody don't realize like without Chris Jericho, AEW doesn't really have a big bunch of star power. And I'm gonna say this because it's like you got MJF, you got Will Ospreay, you got guys who are already mainstream and dudes, but it's like Chris Jericho's the only vet really. He's the only vet besides Will, and I feel like even with the Will Ospreay thing that they did, and Will beat him. It wasn't like even when he became Ring of Honor champion, like bro, that's something I've never seen anybody do. Because I'm like, bro, he's Ring of Honor champion. Like I would have thought, like Ring of Honor, I would have like, dude, I would have joined Ring of Honor like a while ago if I was with Chris Jericho. Like even with CM Punk, like bro, like you got vets in there, and even this. And I'm trying to break a point here, guys. It's like, it's the same thing with CM Punk being WWE now. It's like, bro, when he came to AEW, he already knew what he wanted to do. He elevated them to be better. Because, like, to make them hate him. And I'm like, bro, you kind of have a metamorphosis. It's like, yo, Chris Jericho is the CM Punk of AEW because it's like, yo, anybody he has a feud with, they become bigger stars. Look at Hook. Hook became a guy who literally had the FTW belt and literally tried to go after the AEW. I could see him going after the AEW title in like another year or so. Who knows? He might be in the Casino Battle Royale. Like, we don't know. Like, I would love to see a Hook versus Hangman feud. I would love to, even a Bryan Danielson feud, because I never, like, here's the thing, like, the reason I'm talking about this, and I also got to do my AEW review too, but I'm going to do that in another video. But, like I said, the reason why I'm talking about this is because Chris Jericho has a right to say what he wants to say. Like, I agree with Steve. I do. Like, bro, he's never going to retire. He's not like Big Show, who literally destroyed himself to be here. Like, that's the thing. It's like Kenny. It's like, bro, they could probably get another round of Kenny in there. Because they never had a match. Kenny and Chris have never really had a rivalry yet. And then it's like, yo, I kind of get why. Everybody hates FCW matches, but it's the only thing that's keeping him from doing nothing. And I feel like he's doing it because he needs a challenge. Like, he needs to feel vindicated. Because I'm like, bro, he's never won an FCW belt. And that's an ECW. Like, nobody has ever won that belt till now. And they brought it back in AEW, another company, like 30 years ago. To like now. See, and that's the point. Like, Hook, I could probably see him beat Chris Jericho for the FTW title. It's gonna happen tomorrow. But in my mind, I'm like, But in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool. It's a good idea. It's a good setup. It's great. Perfect example. But like I said, Chris Jericho has a lot. He shouldn't retire. But anyway, guys, this is my video about the Chris Jericho retiring thing. My next video is gonna be about AEW, my review about it. I know it took me so long to do this, guys, because like I said, I've been extremely tired. I've been working hard a lot. I've been working a lot more, so I'm sorry if I'm late. I'm going to do that video right now.